We are streaming. We are about to go live. I know.
Even though Arthur thinks it's time to play.
Yeah. Jake messaged to say, I mean, how ridiculous is this?
Yeah.
Is there potion in the pan? I said, yeah. So then I wonder one. So is there any potion? Yes, it's in the pan. Oh, I should say hello everybody. Sorry.
Hello.
We're just waffling. And I said, yeah, it's in the pan. Oh. Well, when you bring it up, can you bring paracetamol?
Doesn't want a lot, does he?
Yeah, he obviously doesn't realise the butler and the maid are self-isolating at the moment.
You want to tell him?
Honestly, thinks he lives in Downton Abbey.
Well, you have got that hat now. It's your own fault.
Yeah, I shouldn't wander around looking like Lady Mary. Did you see the post that Emma had put in the group about Gertrude?
With the special project that she was making.
Yeah, I love that.
That is brilliant.
Is anybody else making anything special like that for their husband or partner?
Yeah. Probably a lot of people, to be fair.
Yeah. Excuse me, crunching away on my chips. I'm wondering if I should do some kits.
Some what?
Kits. Kits of Gertrude's project, you know, make your own.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that would be popular.
I think a purple one would be quite nice.
It would. Absolutely would.
Style.
Okay, so I'm trying to find us live in the group. Oh, there we are. So, play and... I'm wondering if I should knock off some kits. Knock off the volume.
Some what?
Kits. Right.
Sorry, you can hear Arthur acting. He thinks it's playtime and he keeps trying to give me his ball.
Oh, bless him. Right, I think I've knocked off the volume so that I can see comments. Oh, apparently someone called Emma Jane Sadler's joined.
Oh.
Hello, Emma.
I don't know who she is.
Oh,
who is she? Where did they find her?
No idea. So it's just us for now, but welcome everybody. Lovely to see you again for those of you who spent the afternoon with us.
Welcome back. The gluttons for punishment. I've had a quick change. I'm in my pyjamas.
Is this your night pyjamas or your day pyjamas?
These are my night pyjamas now. I had my day pyjamas on earlier, so these are my, hair and squirrel. I don't know where my squirrel's gone. It's probably hiding under the dinky bosoms.
Oh, Vicky's here. Hi, Vicky.
Yay! Hi, Vicky.
Have you got a fresh beverage, Vicky? Have you moved over from tea or whatever to something a bit more grown up to drink?
No, I reckon she hasn't, because it will be long run on a Sunday, so I don't think there'll be any adult beverages going on there.
Okay, and hello to Jess who's just joined.
Hi, Jess. Have you got an adult beverage, Jess? I'm still cups of tea.
And I've got my potion.
Oh, yeah.
In my pretty cup, and then I've got, as always, a big mug of Builder tea. Because that's just my preference.
Your mug out, love.
Yeah, and forgive me, I am going to periodically take a bite of my Mahusif burger, and yeah, it's regular white bread because I couldn't get gluten-free.
Well, you can't get anything these days.
Mm.
So shall I let you eat your dinner and be Vicky's wingman and share with her the fact that I bought a lot of stash in September at Yarndale and it is still languishing in the bag that I brought it home with?
Oh.
Shall I go through that? And then she can tell her other half that it's quite normal to have lots and lots of very expensive indie dyed yarns just to pet every now and again. Shall I start getting some out?
Yeah.
You were with me when I bought these.
Yeah, get your balls out.
I'm going to get my balls out, although they're actually still only skeins.
Yeah.
I haven't actually done anything with them. So, I fell in love with this one, Moppy and the Squid. I don't know if you can see that label.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Moppy and the Squid. And this colourway was specially dyed for Yarndale. So it's all autumnal colours, greens and browns, and that one's looking ever so slightly reddish in real life. I can't remember what the colourway was. They called it some. Oh, there it is, Yorkshire Dales, and it sold out very, very quickly. That one.
That was really pretty.
It is really pretty. Then the other one. Oh, I've got two of this one.
That one would look really gorgeous on me. Just saying.
Just saying. Hashtag just saying.
Yeah.
And I've got two of this one. And this was. What's that? Done? Is that how you say that one?
I think so.
Yeah. So two of those. And that colourway is Before the Storm.
Ooh, that was quite moody looking, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's again, it's browns and greens. Is there a theme going on here? But it's much darker. And this one's Yakalicious DK. So it's 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, 20% yak, and it is super soft. Sorry you guys, you can't touch it, but I can pet it every now and again. And then I got some more stuff. The rest of it is from my favourite indie dyer, and that is Sylvan Tiger Yarns. And I've done a couple of patterns in her yarn. So I've got two of these, and these were supposed to be for something for Caitlin, and I've not got round to it yet. So this is her Dragonfly Pink. So it's kind of, it's not maroon, it's plum, I think, like a plum colour.
Oh, Vicky's cheering you on. She says get them out, Em.
Yeah, I am. I'm getting my balls out. I like to get my balls out, even though they're not balls yet. And this is 100% British blue face Leicester, so probably not good for people who can't wear wool. We're all right in this case.
They can enjoy the colours anyway, can't they?
Yeah, but I'm all right, Jack. So, and then I bought these two to go together, and I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them yet. But we have Explosion in the Dye Factory. I don't know if you can see all those.
Oh.
Gorgeous colours, speckles, purples and teals. I do like my blues. And then this colour, which is inside it, you just pick it out. This one's called Aqua, strangely enough. And that one is 4-ply, and again 100% British blue face Leicester.
Oh, very lovely and soft.
Beautiful. And then the last one.
Is it beautiful?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Right, I have actually done something with this one. Ever so slightly. It is half and half. So it's like a full-size skein with a mini one. And I've actually wound the mini one. Look at that. So I lied when I said I hadn't done anything, but I have. And that one is also the same, 100% blue face Leicester.
That is stunning. Really beautiful.
So, obviously, as you'll know, Loraine, the little mini skein goes for your cuffs and your heels and your toes, if that's what you want to do with it. And then the main one. I absolutely love all my wool. So she is my favourite indie dyer.
Or could I suggest that if you were buying 3 or 4 of those to make a cardigan,
Right.
that your mini skeins could be your contrast pocket linings, or
Yeah.
that's, you know, your collar or whatever, and your button bands, or
Yeah. Definitely. This one is lovely in a garment, isn't it? But I don't think 2's quite enough. So anyway, just wanted to make Vicky feel a little bit better, and now she can go and tell her other half that it is very normal. We just collect and we pet, and you know, in this current climate, as I like to say, There's no worry about social distancing with yarn.
Well, no, it's not going to cough or sneeze on you, is it?
No, it's not. So, my advice, everybody, is buy all the yarn. Just get in there. So, there's my yarn bale bag that Helen bought for me. She bought a yarn bale bag each, didn't she? Remember?
She did, yeah.
Very generous of her.
That was a brilliant day.
Yes.
That absolutely was.
And very upset that our day that we've got planned out this year is. But never mind, we won't dwell on it.
Next year, though,
Yes.
there will be the return of the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, which we were going to do this year.
We were, and then it will.
And it gives us loads of time to save up to do Edinburgh, Woolfest, and Yarndale.
Oh. And then one year, I am desperate. It's on my bucket list, Shetland.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Shetland Wool Week.
yeah, but I'm not sure when that's going to be happening.
Yeah, can we arrange it that Jimmy Perez is there filming?
Oh, please.
Because I quite like to see Doogie.
Oh, he's fab, isn't he?
It's the only reason I ever watched Primeval.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And I quite like Duncan as well, actually.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I don't know why. I do just quite like him.
So is anybody else a fan of Shetland? Anybody reading those? Vicky says, oh my god, that bag. And hubby is shaking his head. That's because he doesn't get it.
No.
Just doesn't get it. Deborah's just joined us. Welcome, Deborah.
Well,
I have got a mug of my potion. I'm on honey and lemon, ginger, garlic, turmeric and sage to help me deal with either the cold or whatever plague is running through my house. And a massive mug of builder's tea. Tell us what beverage you've got. Hopefully someone here's got a glass of wine or Prosecco that we can enjoy.
Get your mugs out.
Yeah, come on, tell us what you've got.
Adult beverages.
Let's see your progress on your knitting, Emma.
Oh, hang on. I think I've gone wrong again. I can't multitask. Can you see?
That's looking really good. I love that texture.
Oh, I love it, but I'm not sure I'm getting the bumps lined up. But I actually have a pen now.
Right.
I can do tallies, so I know which row I'm on.
Awesome.
See, I have got a little bit organised in the break.
I think Vicky's been throwing the laptop round again because it says she's just joined again. So.
Oh no, where have you been, Vicky? Is it naughty doggos?
I don't know, maybe hubby laughing interfered with the Wi-Fi signal for 5 minutes, you know, it's like, they don't get it.
Men, no. Well,
if it were power tools and stuff for the shed.
Well, it could have been, but no, it's not as good. The only kind of shed that I'm interested in is a she shed full of yarn. Definitely. So, well, I had my tea in the break, so I had a couple of slices of toast. I was very naughty. I had peanut butter and jam.
Oh, I love peanut butter.
How naughty am I?
Is that something that you can eat? You're able to eat without problems? Or?
Yeah, because the peanut butter I get is just 100% just peanuts. That's all it is. And peanuts are fine. I can't eat almonds actually. They give me stomach cramps. But peanuts are all right. Cashews are all right, and pecans and Brazils.
Jake's dad is violently allergic to nuts and such.
Right.
So.
No, it's just almonds that seem to give me a bother.
Oh, well.
And I can't even have, almond milk. I have to have rice milk. So I can't have oat milk either because obviously it's got gluten in it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of oat milk. I think it tastes like cardboard, and feel free to argue with me if you're someone that can drink it, but I'd rather go outside and lick the tarmac.
To be perfectly honest, I think all milks that are not actually milk taste horrible, and you certainly can't have them in tea, which is why I have to have mine black now.
Yeah, I can manage with lactose-free.
I was
but
managing.
But they do vary, don't they?
I was managing, and then the Morrison sent me the UHT one instead of the fresh one week, and since then I just can't stomach it. I don't know what's gone on.
Isn't that funny? And maybe it's, I don't know, maybe not as good for the gut flora or something. Perhaps we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Oh well, not to worry.
I have to Jean-Luc Picard instead.
Oh, grey.
Yeah.
Hot.
Hot and black.
Oh well. I could make a joke about that, but we won't bother.
I was going to say it sounds like Idris Elba, actually.
Well, I'm kind of heading in that direction.
I do like a bit of Idris.
I like his voice.
Yeah. No, I just like him.
Has anybody noticed on YouTube lately that you can get a lot of the sort of classic stories read by various actors, and Benedict Cumberbatch is reading one of the Sherlock Holmes stories, and that's lovely to listen to. That man could read the phone book and I would listen.
There's a name for ladies who like Mr. Cumberband, but I won't say it because it's a bit rudy.
Well, he's used it a couple of times, even though he says he doesn't like it as a name, because they say cumber bitches, don't they?
One, yeah. So you just went for it. I wasn't going there, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm like. Just never any apology.
Have you ever tried asking Alexa what his birthday is, but saying his name wrong?
No.
But she always knows who you mean.
Well, you know, she is a woman.
You know, Caitlin's done it. She's tried to say Cumberbatch in all sorts of ways. Cumberbamba, Cundadunga, and all sorts of things. And she still comes back and says, Benedict Cumberbatch was born on blah, 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 and tells you how old he is. It's hilarious.
Do you ever check that she's actually right on the date that she says? Just, you know, out of curiosity.
No, I haven't, to be fair. But she always comes back with the same date.
Oh, well, she might just be consistently wrong.
I think it's the 14th of July or something.
Not that you were paying attention.
Not that I was paying attention.
No, it's not marked in the calendar at all.
Not that I have a gluten-free cake on that day. Birthday cake, yay!
No, of course not.
Oh, don't, you make me laugh. Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh, fabulous. I've never recovered from Henry Cavill in the bath in The Witcher. That just made my year.
Well, I haven't watched it yet. As I said, I haven't been on Netflix for ages because I'm still on BritBox. But I think when Vera's finished, I'm going to have to flip over to Netflix for a while and check this out. Michelle's actually reading the book and she's promised me that I can borrow it when she's finished.
I got them on Audible, so
Yeah.
I have them read to me while I'm knitting, and I
who?
find that really good. Oh, I can't remember the name of the bloke. It's not anybody I'd heard of, and he's quite northern.
Does he do a good
But
job?
to be honest, once I'd seen Henry Cavill actually read it on YouTube, I'm wishing Henry Cavill was reading the whole book,
Yeah. And he
because
doesn't?
I'd have paid twice the price for that one.
It's a bit rude that he doesn't do the
Just saying, Henry, because you know you're not really working on it at the moment because production's been shut down.
And
So
he-
put those vocal talents to work, and obviously you can't come round here and see me because I'm social distancing, so I just have to bomb him off at the minute.
Yeah, but he could do that from home.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's the perfect bit of work to keep him going, isn't it, and pay his bills and all
I'm
that.
asking him to do something too stressful. I think it would be rather rude of him not to take work on the offer, to be honest.
Yeah, I should definitely see if I can push him in that direction, for sure. Yeah. Oh, Vicky was trying to find a way to post a picture in the comments, but I'm not sure that you can.
I think she's just posted it in the group actually.
Oh, right, lovely. What was it? What was it?
I don't know, I didn't see it. It just flashed up with a notification saying that Vicky posted, but I haven't actually seen what it was.
Oh. I don't think I've got that notification. No, never mind. I'll catch up later, Vicky. You can tell us all about it after.
Let's see if I can find it on my iPad. She says, no adult drunk here yet, next though.
Can everybody see me okay? Do I need to put a light on or something, or am I fine enough? Can you see my beautiful knitting well enough still?
Oh, she didn't put it in the group. She sent it to me via Messenger, that's why.
That'd be why I didn't get a notification.
She's drinking a Starbucks.
Oh, nice.
She does like her Starbucks. When we go running and we have a post-run drink, we're all trying to get into Costa, but Vicky would rather have a Starbucks than a Costa. So, yeah.
I'm just trying the other half of the bread from my fiery burger sandwich towards the Labra pigs.
The Labra pigs.
And as if by magic it's disappeared in seconds.
I don't know where that's
Isn't that clever?
I am having a moment, I'm telling you.
Are you a bit of a hot flush now?
Yeah. God.
Vicky's saying so pretty. I think she's talking about my knitting, but she might be talking about you and your hot flush.
I can waft my hot flash around a little bit more if needed.
It's a good job you got that bra on.
It is. Actually, I've got a t-shirt on underneath, so I think I'll take my top off. That's probably what the problem is.
Okay, so live in Knitting Across the Pennines tonight, Emma is doing a strip.
Sorry. Hope I did my underarm. Sorry. Let's just cover that back up again. How's that?
Oh yeah, we definitely saw the squirrel.
Did you see the squirrel? Did you like seeing the squirrel? A little flash of the squirrel.
Yeah.
Did you see the hair as well though? That was the thing.
Well, yeah. Oh, Michelle Aronson, she says, Cola here, running tomorrow, and she's with Vicky regarding Starbucks.
She prefers Starbucks as well. I'd prefer to have a Costa.
I don't really go to either very often. My friend Jackie that I meet up with occasionally and who I can't see at the moment because she's had heart surgery and things like that, and she really does not need to when you've had open heart surgery and your ribs cracked. You do not want anything that gives you anything approaching a cough.
No.
Let alone a full-blown deadly plague.
No.
So we're avoiding one another at the moment, which is kind of a bit sad. But she loves Costa, and I prefer Starbucks on the basis that I can get an Arabica bean coffee, whereas a lot of the places use Robusta. Greg's in particular uses Robusta, and I just find it really bitter and horrible, and it gives me stomachache.
Right, okay. I don't even think I'd know. The only thing I can tell is if it's burnt.
Right.
I've had a few burnt coffees in my time and they really do not taste nice. We went to one place after park run in Newcastle.
Right.
And I bought a really big Americano, and I think it cost me a lot of money, and I think I took about 2 sips of it. And I was like, I can't drink that. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's not good. I know Vil, I don't know whether she still is, but she was always a big fan of Dart Egbert's. I probably massacred that, but apologies to the company and anybody from that nation for my massacring of that name.
What nation is Dart Egbert?
I don't know, I always thought it was Dutch.
Could be.
I could be completely and utterly wrong there. But I'd never heard of it until I met Vil.
Yeah. I think I must be a coffee philistine because I'll be quite happy with an instant.
I quite like the, or is it Almira or something like that? Azira.
Oh yeah, that is nice. It's like a powder, isn't it?
Yeah, and the Milicano, I quite like
Yeah.
that one.
Got that one at the minute.
I like having the decaf, but I really don't like paying full price, so I only buy it when it's on offer, so it's rarely in our house. And to be fair, Jake doesn't drink coffee, you know,
Right.
maybe 2 cups a year. Gives him really bad stomachache, doesn't matter what kind of coffee it is.
You know.
And I have my 1 latte or cappuccino a day, and that's me. I don't have any other coffee.
I have beanies.
I know you love your beanies, don't you?
You love my beanie. Actually, when we go to Michelle's, when we go from her house for a run, as we did last week, she always makes real coffee, and my goodness, that coffee is nice. Michelle, if you're still hanging around listening, you'll have to tell us what it is that you've got, because it's really, really tasty.
I'm betting it's not Mellow Birds.
I can remember Mellow, but what was the one where they used to make that funny noise in the advert, like they were doing a perky coffee, but they weren't?
Oh! Yeah, I remember them doing that, yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember what the advert was.
Was it Nescafe coffee without the grind or something
Probably
like that?
something
Or
like that.
yeah, I remember in the kitchen pretending to be the percolator.
Yeah, and didn't they have like a full series of adverts, and the couple got married, started with like a date, and they ended up getting married or something.
Oh, that was Gold Blend,
Oh, was
Nescafe
that
Gold
So
Blend.
I'm mixing 2 up now, am I?
I think so.
Oh, sounds about right for me.
And he, of course, famously went on to be Giles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That was him.
Anthony Head, yeah.
He's really famous. I didn't realise it was him.
Yeah.
Oh wow, there you go. Nice cup of tea. Getting dark outside now. It's really nice. It's getting dark much later.
Oh, Michelle says Starbucks.
Ah, excellent.
And she said, yes, it really is.
It really is.
Is that kind of a Private Walker from Dad's Army, honest gov? It really is. Or
No.
no, really is.
That's yeah, it really is, because when she puts a full pot on, and there's none of it left when we've gone.
Oh, Vicky, thank you. Aldi's version of the Azera coffee is half the price, and the stronger one is very good. Right, added to my shopping list. Thank you.
If you can get it anymore.
Oh, I'm sure I'll be able to. There was no problem with coffee or anything like that. It was dried pasta and toilet paper last time, and bleach, washing up liquid.
Do you know one thing that I couldn't get in my food order last week? I've managed it this week, but bubble bath. I honestly think that anything that you could use to wash any part of your body, or was vaguely like a soap or detergent, gone. So no bubble bath whatsoever. How bizarre.
I don't know. It's a funny old world, isn't it? I mean, thank goodness we're just at home, out of the way of it all.
Yeah, let them get on with it.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan to me.
And
Sorry, I'm on a row where I have to count 3 stitches, wrap some stitches, and count 3 stitches. So I am paying attention, honestly, even if I'm not looking at you.
okay, that's all right then. Yeah, I definitely think I went wrong in my stitches somewhere. It's fine. I'll have to.
No one will know.
Well, no one's going to look at it too closely. That's for sure.
Well, and particularly not the designer, because she's bone idle.
Yeah. I don't even know who she is. I've never heard of her before.
Oh, some nut job from the Lake District.
Is she?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Some weirdo. Self-isolates when she doesn't have to, you know.
She makes a good potion though, apparently.
Yeah, pretty good.
In demand. Everybody wants a bit of the potion.
Yeah, if I could whip up Henry Cavill with it, I'm sure I could be selling it on eBay and making $1 million.
I think that would be a completely different kind of potion. You've got your mind on there.
Might be. Might cure my flu, or at least might make me feel that I don't care.
We'll either cure you or kill you.
Yeah, what a way to go.
I would say something rather rude, but...
Are you too much of a lady?
Well, I was just going to say you wouldn't know if you were coming or going, but...
Oh, I think I know.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
I
dear.
think half the street would know.
They would. And what does your man think about this obsession with Henry?
Ask me the last time I saw him.
Christmas.
Yeah. So I have no clue. I don't know what he thinks on the subject.
Oh. Is he coming to visit?
No. No, he's been self-isolating for months. He's been, he will not admit that he's been suffering from a bit of depression, and over the last year he's more or less sort of self-isolated. He spent a little bit of time with us, and he did go off-grid for about 6 weeks, which was a bit worrying, but you can't force someone to be anything other than who they are, and he needs to be allowed to figure it out. So I have no idea when we'll see him, because this ban on travel, and he's 60 miles away.
Yeah.
Unless he's got a legitimate reason to be here or come here, then he another fortnight from now he may not be able to come down here at all.
Yeah.
And he's certainly not going to come here while I'm not feeling well or Jake's well. He's checking in every day. I got a message earlier saying, "Are you still alive?"
Yeah.
The old romantic.
Yeah, he's a true romantic. Did I tell you the latest on what's going on with my husband?
Oh, with being stuck out
in Saudi,
yeah. Do tell.
So obviously a week ago, so it was last Saturday, they just suddenly stopped all the flights to and from Saudi with no notice whatsoever. And now he's had to go to the other side of the country. So he's normally down sort of like the middle east part of the country.
Right.
And they wanted him to go to the northwest, right, to fix the ship.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to go today, but then yesterday they hurriedly put him on a flight to go yesterday instead, because all the internal flights are stopping.
Right.
So they've sent him miles and miles and miles away from where he works, put him in a hotel. He can't get back because there's no flights anymore. All the flights are stopped. He said the full plane was full of pilots going home, and he's stuck in this hotel with no restaurant or anything. The place is basically shutting down, and they think that this is a good time to be sending somebody hundreds of miles away.
You wonder about the sanity of some people, don't you?
And honestly, I said to him, he wants to, well, to be fair, he's not really putting up much of a fight, because I said he shouldn't go, but he didn't complain, so it's had enough now. He can sort himself out and his own battles out. He's a grown man.
Well, you can't make them.
I know.
That's the thing I keep telling myself with Mike, you know, he is what he is. He has to figure out his own way.
Yeah.
And there's no good me telling him.
No.
He's got to want to make a change, yeah.
Well, if he's not happy, he'll just complain at you for it, won't he?
Oh, absolutely. I'll just see if that works.
What have you done?
I was just playing with the light settings to see whether I could brighten that, but apparently not. I might have to put a light on.
I think you might have to. It's getting a bit darker in there now.
Ooh! Ooh, that's a bit unpleasant. I'm not liking that. I'll see if I can get the one that's behind it. Could you move your face off my feet?
Why? Why would she want to do that?
I think it's the thing of, she seems to be able to concentrate her entire weight on her chin.
Okay.
And then lean it on my foot to the point where I can't breathe almost, because there's so much pressure on one point on my foot. Oh goodness, that's really bright.
Yeah, but it's not as bright as the other one.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah, but it's just like you've got your own spotlight. You want to do Susanna Reid in the morning.
I could do that. Well, I'm still munching away on my burger, but minus the bread now.
You don't need any bread now. You've had enough of the bread.
I've had enough of the bread.
So I'm coming through on my lighter colour now, but which is good. I don't think I'll make it to the grey though before it's about 6 foot tall. These are quite big stripes, aren't they?
Oh, they are, yeah.
Maybe it's designed for a bigger garment.
Sort of with a shawl in mind or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's got a picture of a scarf on there.
Right.
So that'll probably be what it is. It says 3 balls. I don't know whether that means that you need 3 of these balls to make that scarf, which would be a lot of wool, or does it mean that this ball is equivalent to 3 normal balls?
Don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be because it's 300 grams.
Right.
So that'll be what it is. It's 300 grams.
2 for a sweater then.
Yeah. I think this is quite popular now, this kind of swirly type thing.
Well, and places like Aldi do them and they're really affordable and they wash well and, you know, for kids' projects and blankets and cardies and things like that.
I think Vicky may have bought quite a lot of similar wool to that out of Aldi quite recently. I'm sure she can neither confirm nor deny this. It's a vicious rumour that somebody keeps spreading around.
What, her husband?
No, me at the moment.
I think Jay Yarns on Ravelry, she's a big fan of the Aldi sort of colour changer ones like that.
Yeah. Cool.
They have a really nice green, it's got a variety of greens and a lovely teal in it, which looks quite good.
And we are both fans of the teal.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I'm going to give up on the burger.
You had enough. Sometimes you just can't eat. I've done Anne. I don't think Anne Hall's with us at the minute, but I've done her care package up.
Oh, what?
So we've got a bag. I've got her a nice crafting bag.
Right.
Craft repeat.
Oh, nice.
And inside it, I couldn't find lilac, but I did find 3 of these small balls of purple.
Oh.
Really nice deep plummy purple. So it's 3 balls of those and some perfect for beginners 4.5mm bamboos.
Oh, I really like bamboo straights for starting off because they hold the yarn quite nicely, don't they? There's that good balance of not too much grip but then not slippy.
Exactly. I think bamboo is ideal for a beginner, which is why I searched those out.
I love my bamboo needles.
So yeah, we can learn to cast on and do some garter, I think, with that.
Brilliant.
I don't think we'll jump to the peril stitch just yet.
Are you thinking that peril stitch needs to be worked up to?
I think so. I don't think we're ready to live quite that dangerously yet.
I think you should show people peril stitch first.
Do you think?
Yeah. On the subject of accents.
Yeah.
Have you seen that marvellous clip from a show called Burniston, which is a Scottish comedy, and there's 2 Scots guys in a lift that's voice operated?
Oh, I have seen that clip.
11. And that just completely creases me up. That's just
11.
11.
11. Do I say it normal?
It's beautiful.
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 We could play a game of Your English is Not My English.
It's something a bit like that, isn't it? Oh, Vicky has confirmed rather than denied that she's got the green/teal one too. They're just beautiful. And she said there were too many pretty colours, how could she just buy one? Absolutely, Vicky, because they'd be lonely on their own.
Well, Vicky will tell you, right? Vicky has 2 dogs, like you have 2 dogs. Because it's just not good to get one dog. You need 2 dogs.
Well, we keep one another company, generally.
with the wool in the stash. You know, you can't just buy a single skein or a single ball. It's just not on.
It's irresponsible, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And because I normally buy mine online, I
Stop
certainly
it.
don't buy one because otherwise I have to pay for postage. Now, what would you rather pay for? Extra balls and free postage, or less balls and pay for your postage? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, and given that you're doing your civic duty and keeping people in employment in uncertain times,
Yeah.
I mean, it is our duty.
Anne Hall is watching. I think she missed her care package. I don't think she was here for when we shared her care package.
And you might have to watch it on the replay.
She will, yeah. Either that or it could be a surprise.
Yeah, it could be a surprise.
Yeah. I'm starting to get bottom issues already. This isn't good.
You're getting bottom issues already.
I know. And we've not been here 5 minutes.
Well, a touch longer than 5 minutes. Sort of nearer 45, if we're honest.
Won't go there.
But yeah. Time flies by when you're having a numb bum.
When you're having a numb bum, yeah. It's fine. You just have to put up with me, like, being a bit of a fidget bottom.
Periodically shifting position. That's all good. We can manage with that.
I promise I'm not cocking my to let one off.
Quick update.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I'm doing quite well with it.
It's gorgeous. If only you knew someone that designed patterns.
Well, yeah. If only there was someone I could give a shout out to who designed it and just say what a genius they are.
If only, eh?
Yeah, shame about that.
We don't know anyone like that, do we?
No.
No.
Yeah, I did put the link to the pattern in the previous video for anyone who's interested.
You put my pattern in as well, this one that I'm doing.
I did, yeah, put those.
Excellent.
Right, Vicky. Excuse me. We take that to our bed. We have found the bubble wrap from earlier.
Oh, right, excellent.
Yeah, so it's amusing them, but noisily. Vicky says, see, I buy mine from a local wool shop, but the problem with that is you see more things. All the things.
All the things.
Yeah, but then think of how much joy you've brought to that person's life. And how many balls of yarn you've liberated from captivity.
Well, yeah, it's not fair. It's like living in a zoo, isn't it? And people come in and look at
It's
you.
a bit really. Yeah, like a petting zoo.
Yeah, it's a bit out of order.
I think that yarn shopping in particular brings out my inner cat.
Is it?
I can't be the only person who wants to sort of lie on top of it and purr loudly. And sort of go,
I would actually really like to see you do that.
I may do that.
When we,
if we're still in lockdown in October, I'll probably just be gibbering, drooling and doing that.
It'll be like, do you remember those videos you used to be able to see of people jumping into big piles of money and swimming in it? We could do that with balls of wool.
I've got enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's enough demand, I will take a photograph of my wall of yarn boxes, and that isn't all of it, because behind that is a whole wall of wardrobes stuffed with yarn boxes. And then on top of the wardrobes there's more yarn boxes, and then there's an IKEA shelf unit, a pine shelf unit filled with yarn boxes.
See, Vicky should be feeling better already now.
And that's not my only yarn storage. I have another 8 boxes stacked the other side of the bedroom.
Have you got an off-site yarn storage as well?
I have, and there's more in the loft.
Goodness.
I do not have a yarn problem.
Right.
The rest of you have a perception problem. I am prepped for what my niece used to call the poxy clips. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Could be here.
Yeah, and I'm ready.
You don't have a problem. You don't have a yarn problem. You have a time problem. There's no problem with your yarn. It's just not enough time.
Well, yeah, and if one of you would hurry up and get hold of the TARDIS,
Yeah.
now that the doctors are all coming out of retirement, they're not going to be looking after the TARDIS.
They're not. That's true.
So we can get the TARDIS, and we'd have time to do the knitting. Michelle says, I buy my wool from a local shop and boys. I like to touch the wool, but have had some from Wool Warehouse. I've had some really nice stuff from Wool Warehouse, and some from... I've had stuff from Derrimores in the past. I don't particularly like ordering from them because it just feels like it takes forever.
Yeah.
It's really slow compared to Wool Warehouse, and it doesn't arrive as nicely wrapped in one of those organza bags or anything like that.
Organzas. I've got quite a few of those. I've got one in here at the minute, actually.
Oh, they're brilliant project bags.
Aren't they just? But I still like to have my project bag, but I like to have the organza one inside to keep things, you know.
Oh, Vicky says she's feeling wonderful. Are you feeling wonderful because I have a room of yarn?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought...
You've got a house of yarn.
Yeah, more or less, because there's the dresser that I usually sit in front of when I'm not feeling achy, and I sit on a proper chair. The pine dresser, all the bottom cupboards of that dresser are stuffed with yarn as well.
Do you
And
have a system?
Yeah,
You do?
Yeah.
So what, by yarn weight or by brand, colour? What is your system?
yarn,
Yeah.
not yarn. Will it fit? Won't it fit? How big is the hole in the box for what I want to fit in it? That yarn goes there.
Loraine, I'm howling.
That's the system. I know it's simple, and I know you're all ridiculously jealous now, but that's my system. Yarn, not yarn, fits, doesn't fit. It's exactly the same with my clothes. I have plastic storage boxes, 80 litre plastic storage boxes for my clothing, and they are sorted by time of year that I'm going to wear them. All of the jeans and trousers are on the bottom, and they're colour coded in colours from light to dark. And then on top of there, there's one that's just for knitwear, and all the heavy stuff is at the bottom, and then the lighter weight stuff is at the top, and then there's one for accessories, and there's one for t-shirts and things like that. And that's super easy because I just know which box something's going to, and I probably have 2 big boxes full of scarves and other accessories.
That's really organised. I'm not that organised.
I have to do that with my clothing because then that's one less decision. And some of the stuff that hangs in my closet, like these t-shirts are from Yours Clothing, and I quite like the little rolled double bit on the neck and things like that. I've got 2 of these in khaki, and I've got one in kind of a marine navy. It's got a hint of greeniness to the navy, and they are hung up with appropriate necklaces and scarves with them. And the t-shirt I had on the other day, the one that was from Yours Clothing that you like, the khaki one with the peachy flowers and things on it, that hangs up. I've got a long sleeve t-shirt in that peachy pink.
Right.
So that hangs up the t-shirt. The short sleeve t-shirt goes on top of the long sleeve t-shirt, and they're on a hanger together, and there's always a scarf or something like that with them. Yeah. And just spending that extra couple of minutes to do that makes life easier. If I could be asked to go through the yarn and sort it by weight and colour and you know, the fibre content and all the rest of it, it's on my list to think about it while we're in lockdown. And if we're still all here in October, I might even get it done by then. Who knows? But are you jealous and astounded at my system and how clever it is?
Amazing. I don't know why I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I have big boxes full of yarn by weight, but then other yarn creeps in because, like you said, will it fit, won't it fit? It won't fit in the box that it should go in, so I'll just shove it in that one out of the way. And then because I wanted baby yarn, I've searched out a load of stuff that can make things for babies, and that is all currently piled on the top of the chest of drawers that I'm knocking out right now.
Right.
So it's come out of deep stash into let's ponder it stash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to be surrounded by pondering stash, because sometimes you need a while for the yarn to tell you what it wants to be.
You do. It can't talk to you when it's in a box.
No, well, and if it did, it would be kind of. Oh, I didn't get any of that, did you?
No, it's in self-isolation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it could be that. I'm probably some of my yarn is that old.
Yeah, but I don't think you can catch COVID-19 from one, so we're all right.
Well, it hasn't been anywhere. It's not like it's just come back from holiday in Italy or a cruise in the Caribbean or something.
Exactly.
It's just been in my house.
Yeah. That could or could not be a lurgy house. We don't know.
Yes, the plague pit upstairs. Who knows? Absolutely no
in the
scoop.
village soon enough. Ringing a bell. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead.
Oh, do you know? It would not surprise me at all.
Isn't that from a movie or something?
I don't know.
I know Only Fools and Horses. He rang the bell and said that dental was unclean.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That was kind of him.
That was in the Jolly Boys outing, you know, when they got on the coach trip and they went.
Yeah. I love Denzel.
Denzel had a ear infection.
Right, yeah.
An antibiotic, so he couldn't drink beer, and because he wasn't drinking, they all said that he was diseased.
Oh, that's mean, isn't it?
And they started ringing the bell and calling him unclean.
Oh, bless.
Bless him. I like Denzel. I like Trigger.
Oh, Trigger's amazing.
And if it's a boy, they're going to call it Rodney after Dave. That is my favourite Only Fools and Horses quote ever.
I like with Marlene and Boise when Boise leans over the baby and says, "Babe, say bye-bye to Daddy," and all the rest of them are behind going like this. Waving at the baby.
I hear Marlene's pregnant. If you tell me who did it, I'll beat him up for you. Japper. Oh, I do love Only Fools and Horses.
It is good.
So are we all on our own? Is everyone left, do you think?
It's probably that time of day, isn't it? I think people will catch up with us later. I think we should just carry on quietly and they can watch at their leisure, can't they? Yeah. I watched Carry On Screaming yesterday, did I tell you?
Oh, you said that you wanted to watch it again.
Oh, I love it. I'd have to...
You got it on DVD?
I recorded it on the Skybox, so just periodically I put it on there and just watch it because I can. And
yeah.
I think it's genius. It's the only Carry On film without Sid James.
I like Sid James though.
Oh, he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Lash.
Yes. So mucky, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I really, really like that. So I'm wondering what to do. I've kind of got the itch to design a cardigan.
Okay.
With sleeves.
#sleevegate.
It'll have sleeves. I'm going to knit them first from the bottom up flat.
Excellent. See, this is the advantage of designing your own things. You can knit them the way you want to.
Well, I thought I'd aim it at beginners, and I sort of would like people to respond in the comments. If you're watching it on replay, put #replay so that we know. We'll be checking the comments over the next couple of days and answering any questions that we've missed while we're waffling. Informing you of vital and important news.
You may be waffling. I'm talking sense.
From a number. Anyway, what I would like to know, is what style of cardigan. Do I go with, I mean, the trend at the moment seems to be for oversized. Do I go for something like an oversized drop shoulder, very basic, something to learn basic and simple skills, but actually get a really nice cardigan at the end? And I'm thinking that when you do the fronts, you knit the bands, or what will eventually go around the back of the neck to be the collar, at the same time, and they join at the back of the neck. So you've done that. You haven't got to pick up any stitches or anything afterwards. Once you've done that, you're good to go. So that was kind of my plan. Or do I do something with sort of standard setting sleeves that fits very nicely to the end of the shoulder? I don't know. What are the views? Do I include colour work? My thoughts at the moment are to include a textured stitch. Something that is simple, easy to do, easy to keep track of, so that you can see where you are within the pattern. And I've got a few ideas about what that could be.
Would that be like an all-over textured stitch, or just...
I might even have 2 or 3 versions of a textured stitch moving up the garment. So that perhaps one is on the collar, and one is on the lower body, and one is on the upper body. And then perhaps the sleeves are plain, so that you've got kind of a rest.
Sounds like some plans are coming together.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm just going to go and check and see if we've got any comments.
Just joined me.
Oh, somebody's just commented on the binge watching post to say anything except The Mentalist, because she's just finished watching that. Well, that's good. If you just finished watching it, you don't want to watch it again, do you? Oh, Michelle says she's still here, but she was concentrating on her knitting. An easy pattern sounds good. Will it be in the round? If I do a cardigan,
I'm guessing no.
It'll be flat. I could do a sweater in the round, and I could write the sleeve instructions for flat and in the round, depending on how you like to do them.
Doing what I'm doing and do the cardigan and then steek it?
No. To be honest. Yeah. Do you see how I thought about it for a sort of a millionth of a nanosecond there?
Yeah, it was definitely a millisecond, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm really thinking about it. No. The reason being is I want it to be a basic introduction, sort of a starter garment that introduces different concepts, and just so that it's nice and easy and a relaxing knit. And then the one after that.
What, steeking isn't relaxing?
No.
Really?
I don't know, if you've had a bottle of wine and you're absolutely blottoed and cutting that out, I'm sure it is relaxing, because you don't care.
Exactly.
But no, I actually find it quite, in the way that you said that you'd got fabric for a sewing thing and then couldn't cut the fabric. And then couldn't do it because it's just wrong and it's so pretty and you might murder it. And you know, hands up anyone who's got skeins or balls of yarn, skeins, balls of yarn, gorgeous yarn that you really want to do something with, but you're terrified of doing something with it because you might really cock it up. Anyone out there?
Hands up.
Yeah, so even the most experienced of us, even someone who's been around for hundreds of years like I have,
I wouldn't say hundreds.
Well, you know what it feels like it's some days.
Just centuries.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all that bathing in blood. It just.
And the coffin, how is the coffin?
Do you know, it's great. The woodworm is the biggest risk.
That is the problem, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and obviously I have to have a cedar coffin for me.
Is that what the potion really is?
Might be.
If you don't drink your potion every night. Oh, look, Arthur's come to say hello. Look, there's Loraine. Where is she? Look, Arthur. Say hello to Loraine.
Hello, Arthur. Hello.
He wants to give you his ball, Loraine.
Oh, I see. It's funny that, because I've just caught 2 Labradors with the same hello.
Yeah, he's back. Look, he's come with his ball. Everyone say hello to Arthur. He likes to make an appearance.
Hello, Arthur. Oh, he's beautiful.
It would not be knit night without a beautiful boy. Right, stop. I'm trying to knit.
Oh, Elaine Watson saying hello, and she says, hello, Arthur. Isn't he adorable, Elaine?
Hi, Elaine.
She's a big, cuddly ball of fluff.
He's our bear.
I've got,
He's a big bear.
I've just got some.
See bear in the big blue house.
Oh, yeah.
He reminds me of him, the bear.
Gosh, that's a long time ago. Oh, Vicky says, ooh, doggo.
Yeah.
Yeah, not dogging, just doggo. Yeah.
Just doggo. No,
Good
that's
girl.
something
Good girl.
different.
Yes.
I don't think Vicky's ever met you, Arthur. Elaine's met him. And Michelle's met him. Yeah?
Oh, he's beautiful.
He's beautiful. We'll have to go on a road trip to see Loraine one week, and you can play with her doggo.
Yep. Make sure they're not in season.
Yeah. So going back to your cardigan.
Yeah.
Are you thinking, like a big shawl collar type thing, short rows?
No.
No.
No. I'm thinking that you would cast on for the bands, and it would maybe say about 6-inch wide for the bands, with a pattern that you knit as you go up, and then.
Not ribbing.
I don't know. I suppose it could be ribbing, but I'd like to have perhaps a little bit of a cable or a bit of textured ribbing.
Like a twisted rib or something like that.
I'm not sure about twisted rib.
Because you've just done some of that recently, and you absolutely loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
You talked about it all the time, this 1x1 twisted rib, how gorgeous it was.
It was utterly gorgeous. It took me longer to knit 2.5 inches of the bottom of my sweater in twisted 1x1 rib than it did to do 6 inches in stockinette. I would not inflict that on anybody.
No, I don't see
No, I'd rather have a tooth out than do 6-inch wide bands all the way up the top and then round the back of the neck in twisted rib. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Feel free to do that if that's your bag, but no.
To be
not
fair, anything of mine that is involved ribbing, like my 2 jumpers that I've got one out, one's halfway out. The ribbing on the bottom of the jumper and on the cuffs is probably about that much, not much at all. Just enough, and then I'm done with it. I'm not a fan.
I suppose we're all so very different, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. I've seen patterns where the ribbing's like that, and it looks gorgeous. But I just know I don't have the patience.
Okay, so Elaine's saying, ladies want to take up knitting again, been a long time, what should I start off with? So my first question, Elaine, is, if it's been a while, did you knit flat or did you knit on circular needles? I'm going to give you a minute to answer because there's always a lag.
Pebble stitch.
Excuse me.
It's always handy to know if you've learned the pebble stitch.
Yeah. It's Emma having a laugh at me and my mum. My mum's Scottish accent.
Pearl stitch, not
P-U-R-L, but my mum pronounces it Pearl.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, my pearl stitch. So yeah, it's the thing with regional accents, isn't it? Right, so you've worked flat. So the thing to start with might be a hat that's worked flat that you can quickly seam, or there's a pattern. I'll post the link in the comments because you can get it free at the moment, and it's a little baby hat. You know the one that baby Archie wore in the Canada photo with his dad, with Harry, with the little pom-poms on the corner, and that's just a seamed rectangle. And that's a good thing to start with, because you can work on your tension and making sure that your stitches are even and everything else.
And Elaine does have a baby in the family to knit for. I think it's a great niece, I could be wrong, but I think she had a great niece who was supposed to be having the naming ceremony next Saturday.
Right, and that would be a really quick one to make.
Yeah, so that would be an ideal project.
That would be perfect.
Got the recipient for it as well.
Well, and a deadline, which is always good to get you going, isn't it?
It's a great nephew, not a great niece.
Oh, great nephew.
It's 50-50 chance, wasn't it?
Yeah, you remembered.
I remembered she had a great something.
Yeah. Yeah, let's not go there. We're going to leave that one alone, Elaine. Yeah, I promise when we are finished waffling, I will add the link to the download for that pattern. I can't remember where I downloaded it now, but I know it was free. You might even be able to get that on Ravelry, but I'll find a link. She said, yes, Emma, ceremony is postponed, but that would be a great thing to knit. I can understand them postponing it, because it's sort of a dangerous thing.
I mean, even weddings are being told that you can only have the vicar or aficionado, the groom, the bride.
Oh, do you know, I wish this had happened the year I got married. I hope none of my family are watching, but I wouldn't have had to have more bridesmaids than the Royal Sussex wedding. In a register office.
I remember.
I've no job to do.
Well, we got married in St Lucia. We actually went abroad and got married, just me and him and my mum and dad and nobody else, and it was lovely. And then the following year, my brother got married, and he got married in the registry office. And there were arguments I can't remember if it was, I think it was our family, not her family, arguing before the bride had even walked up the aisle.
Oh, good Lord.
And Phil and I looked at each other and just went, yeah. This is why we went abroad and got married. It was just, please, it's somebody's special day.
Well, and people think it's all about them, and quite frankly, it isn't.
It isn't.
It's about two people making a lifetime commitment.
Or 2 years in their case.
Well, I think you have to ask yourself, do you want to get married or do you want a wedding? Because the two things aren't necessarily the same.
Well, they've been together, lived together for years.
And then split up?
Yeah, they got married and then I think they only lasted a couple of years.
Well, that's a bit sad.
I know. I can say that because he's not watching. He won't get offended. Right, I'm back on. My top's back on. I've finished up in a moment.
Right, your hot flush is gone now.
Do you think that was my first one? I don't remember ever having a moment before.
Oh, well, there you are. Elaine says thank you for that. So, yeah, I'll promise I'll put that link on as soon as we're done. Because that's a nice one. I've made the hat a couple of times now, and it's really simple, really easy, and very cute. I do not particularly enjoy making pom-poms, but if you have a pom-pom maker thing, great. If you don't, then flatten a valuable and extremely expensive inside bit of a toilet roll for the cardboard and use that to wrap your yarn around to make your pom-pom. It will work equally well.
Well, I do have some pom-pom makers that you could borrow.
Oh, well, there you are.
Another care package.
Well, yeah, it's honestly, it's all these things that we have to just deliver now that we can't just take round to someone's house. It's going to feel like a game. Did you play knock and run, where you knock on someone's door and run off?
Yeah, too right.
I think we called it knock on bomb or something like that here. But yeah, everyone's kind of feeling like that's what they're doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Michelle says, sat laughing at myself whilst counting stitches out loud and getting louder because I keep listening to you two.
I think we're on top form tonight. Well, you are, Loraine.
I think you're doing pretty good.
I think your potion's kicking in, isn't it?
It is. I'm feeling much more comfortable now. It's something a friend, a Chinese doctor that I knew years ago, told me to make if I ever got a cold.
You definitely didn't look too, hot this afternoon. Sorry, love.
Thanks.
Yeah. You definitely look like you had some kind of allergy going on.
Yeah. I feel a bit more human now.
Excellent. And also probably food. Did you have anything to eat before we come on at lunchtime?
Not really. I had some porridge at about 6 o'clock this morning.
So that's probably not helping, is it?
No, I didn't really feel like making anything. I've soaked some, that dried soup mix with the barley and the split peas and all of that gubbins. I've got some of that soaking in a pan ready to make soup tomorrow. But I didn't feel like making soup today, and that's normally my lunch. I love my soup.
Yeah. Do you have bread?
Not always, no. If I've got wholemeal bread in the freezer, I'll have some of that with my soup. But generally, I just have my soup as it is. And if I've got the pan on the stove, and because it's being boiled every day, I'm not one for whamming it in the fridge or anything. It's fine on the stove.
Yeah.
It's never killed me.
It's not too hot.
And I boil it up. The house isn't roasting. The kitchen's not hot by any means. So, the pan's out there. Boil it up the next day. Have my soup. And if I'm a bit bored with it, I might put a tablespoon of Worcester sauce in it tomorrow.
Very nice.
And then the day after that, I might whip up an egg, whisk an egg, and then pour the egg in to make like egg drop soup.
That tastes nice, does it?
It's really nice, yeah.
Sounds interesting.
It's what the Chinese do with their soups. I don't put soy sauce in because I'm allergic to it, but I put liquid aminos, which is sort of a soy substitute.
I'm not being funny, Loraine, but the Chinese will eat anything.
Everything but the squeak.
Yeah, exactly. So, saying that that's what the Chinese do with their soup isn't selling it to me. Not right now.
It's very popular in takeaways.
I've never bought soup from a Chinese takeaway. Not even chicken noodle soup.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you are.
No, I've never fancied it. My go-to from the Chinese shop is either egg fried rice or special fried rice, and king prawn balls in a sweet chilli and garlic sauce.
Do you know, we stayed with my aunt and uncle years ago for my cousin Gemma's 18th in Manchester, and he said, oh, let's go into Chinatown and get a takeaway.
All right, cool.
And I said, oh, where are we going? Expected him to come out with some exotic name, and he said, oh, effing Elsie's. I said, what? Effing Elsie's.
Was it effing as in like the swear word but not saying it, the swear word?
Well, I'll come into that, because we get there, and he said, it's there, effing Elsie's, and on the door it's like the Golden Peacock or something like that, and I'm like, what? We went in, and then he's thrown the order ahead, he pays her, how you doing, Mr. Paul, how you doing, all this, and then she said, effing else?
Oh.
So you sarcastic sod.
Oh, God.
And I had to say, it's one of the best Chinese meals I have ever had in my life. She was an amazing cook, and she was really, really lovely, but I just...
Was it effing good?
Yeah, but I mean, it's typical of him to come out with something like that and just call it effing Elsie's.
Effing Elsie. Oh my God. What are you like? I bet you lot have a real scream at Christmas, don't you?
If you had been at my wedding, I still bump into people decades later who stop me and go, oh, what a party. And there was sort of the Thompson side of the family, that's my ex-husband's family, who weren't drinkers, don't smoke, don't dance, or any of that, and they were all sort of sat there. Yeah. And then there were the Birchalls at the other end of the room, and add alcohol instant party.
Excellent, yeah.
But the Thompsons were all sat near the DJ, and at one point the DJ just sort of looked at me and went, do you mind if we come down near you, because there isn't a party happening down here. Sat there, by which time my Uncle Paul he was in his 50s, was break dancing.
Brilliant.
Managed to hurt his back and so then doing this all the rest of the evening. Then they were tag dancing, you know, where you get tagged and you have to dance in the middle and do your party trick, and they were doing rockabilly, and my parents are amazing sort of dancers.
Like 1950s style?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. and I remember Kevin and I having to do our first dance, and we had chosen several bits of music and we both absolutely loved. Oh, hi, Sally Cowell's there. Lovely to see you, Sally. Hope you've had a good day. We'd chosen Nat King Cole, Let's Face the Music and Dance.
Oh, brilliant.
We'd chosen Louis Armstrong. I can't remember if it was All the Time in the World, which is possibly not the best choice really, given what happened to... It's from the James Bond film On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and he marries Diana Rigg's character, and then she gets shot in the head, so perhaps it's not the most romantic choice. Maybe we've gone with What a Wonderful World or something. There was a Louis Armstrong.
Doesn't he wear the tuxedo that's like really frilly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had... what was the other? I think it was the Frank Sinatra Come Fly With Me.
I like that one.
And then Kevin wanted another Louis Armstrong, and that was sort of our song. It was A Kiss to Build a Dream On.
Oh, that's nice.
And the DJ got the order of the songs mixed up, and he started with Kiss to Build a Dream On. Fine, lovely, romantic. At which point I realised my new husband, who I'd lived with for many years by the time we got married, cannot dance.
Oh no.
He has got the rhythm of a spider on acid. Right?
Did you not practice?
No. No, not really, because we'd been out to do's and discos and things like that over the years, and I guess I was just that ratted. I never really noticed how uncoordinated he was. And you don't sort of formally ballroom dance,
Well,
you know, when you're in a club or whatever, do you? It's not the thing. It's at your wedding, you kind of obliged to do the sort of closer dancing, at which point I thought, oh my god. And I am looking at my parents and sort of mentally going, get up and dance and take the attention away from us right now. At which point they got up and they're whirling around the floor like something off Strictly Come Dancing and looking totally amazing.
brilliant.
You can really go off people, can't you?
You can, yeah.
And they're just tripping the like fantastic round us. And then Kevin said, how about I dance with Hayley, which is his sister, and you dance with Ken, her husband, my new brother-in-law. And I thought,
Okay.
great, this isn't you, how bad can it be?
No, it's worse.
Well, yeah.
Oh god, you didn't regret it, did you?
Oh, it was, do you know the, Ken's lovely, by the way, and he's only my height, so he's not a tall man, but
Right.
do you know the monster in Young Frankenstein and how uncoordinated he is? Have you never seen Young Frankenstein? Somebody here will have seen it. I will send you a clip of the monster dancing to Putting on the Ritz. That
Okay.
was me and Ken.
Okay.
Yeah, you've never seen anything like it in your life.
Did everyone think you were doing a comedy turn?
I think they did. But yeah, once that was over and done with and all the rest of the music got on, it was just dancing all night. We got home at 4 in the morning.
Oh, fab.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, I hope you didn't have the kind of wedding night I had, because when we got home, my husband, brand new husband, just got into bed and passed out, snoring.
Mine went to the bathroom and was sick, and then came to bed and passed out and snored. So yeah, kind of.
Felt right, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that's most wedding nights, actually.
I think it's pretty much every wedding night, if people are honest. It's only in the movies that it's anything else, and that's not particularly real, is it?
Well, no, it depends.
Can't drink that much alcohol, do that much dancing, and have so much socialising to do, and still have energy for anything remotely fun after it.
Well, no, and you've usually been up since the crack of dawn, and you go to bed at stupid o'clock in the morning as well.
Oh yeah, and if you've had a dress and you've been wearing a corset and all the rest of it, all you want to do is get your bloody bra off and just unfetter everything and expand 6 or 7 sizes.
Let it all hang out. Yeah, those wedding dresses aren't built for comfort, really, are
Well, no, and if anybody did try and undress you, it'd be like taking more skins off than an onion. Ridiculous. Probably just as smelly by the end of the day, I don't know.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's not a good recipe, is it? It's just,
No, really. No.
I think we possibly put far too many unrealistic expectations on us. Anybody tuning in right now is going to be thinking, what has this got to do with knitting? We are knitting, promise. It's just we natter all the time while we do it.
And we can't keep on one subject either.
No, we can't.
Noticed.
Yeah, you can direct us by asking us questions or making comments. Do tell us if you just joined us. Do tell us what your beverage is. I'm on the potion, which Emma said is blood to keep me looking young and fabulous.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just on the lemonade now because I've run out of tea. But I am having a breakfast biscuit for supper.
Oh, okay. Is that a gluten-free thing?
It is a Morrison's gluten-free one, yeah. They're really tasty.
Oh, can I ask how much they are? I've not tried them. Ish.
Tell you. I honestly couldn't tell you because I am that really naughty person who just goes online and clicks, yeah, I'll have that, and then checks out. And I don't have a clue.
Do you yarn shop the same way?
Pretty much. Does it go over the £25 free delivery is the only thing I look for when I yarn shop.
That's the criteria. Yeah, I can get to that.
Yeah. That is it.
I can't believe you shop like that and yet you think that my yarn storage solutions are not sophisticated enough.
No, I said your yarn storage was genius, actually.
Yeah, fits, doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Yarn, not yarn. What more do you need to know?
Have you seen this? People are commenting about adult beverages.
Oh. Gin and tonic.
I know.
Oh, Elaine. Gin and tonic or gin and orange? I think, given the plague, you should have gin and orange because we all need vitamin C.
Yeah, you're going to need... And the alcohol to kill the bugs off.
Yeah, it's probably a lifesaver.
We all need to be drinking more alcohol, I think.
Yeah.
Especially if we are social distancing and not going anywhere. There's no excuse, is there? Don't need a designated driver anymore.
Well, no, because there's nowhere to drive, is there? Vicky's got a gin and tonic.
Good girl, Vicky.
You probably need to add a splash of orange or lemon or something like that to it. Just, because we're all about getting at least one of your 5 a day.
But hasn't tonic got like quinine stuff in it that's good for malaria? So that might actually be good for the virus.
Yeah, that's true.
Has anybody tested quinine?
Sharp's wife.
Oh, right, okay.
I can't remember which episode it was.
I used to like Sharp.
Love Sean Bean. He's looking a bit ropey these days.
He is. Have you seen those adverts? The Yorkshire tea adverts?
Oh, wonderful, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, aren't they? Sorry, yeah. I've got bottom issues again. Hang on.
Do it for Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Have you seen that interview with Kit Harington where they said, what we love about Game of Thrones is that the southern characters have got southern accents and everybody from the north talks with a northern accent.
Yeah.
And he said, that wasn't design, it was down to casting. And he said, what do you mean down to casting? He said, well, they picked Sean and then they said, can you do another accent? And he said, no. So everybody else had to learn to speak northern, which I thought was brilliant.
Oh, absolutely fabulous.
Oh, Elaine says excellent idea. I think she's talking about with the orange. But not when knitting, because she'll get in a mess. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm with you there. I'm not really good at drinking and knitting because I tend to spill the drink and then have to suck it out of the knitting.
I'm not even very good at talking and knitting, I think.
That's looking good. Can we have a close up? Oh, nice. I'm loving that slip stitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. Beautiful.
I've just had another colour change. Slow and steady wins the race. So yeah, loving it.
Absolutely brilliant. So I'm excited.
And this is how it will look, obviously, when it's draped around my necky.
Yeah, your colours.
And it's the perfect depth, really, just to, hide those chins.
Snuggle in.
Yeah, just have one chin with that wrapped around.
I'm just wondering if Elaine is going to cast on tonight or if she hasn't got the accoutrements necessary.
I think she's avoiding it because of said gin and orange. And she's saying, Emma, that's really lush. Oh, and she says mine is gorgeous. Oh, maybe she's saying you're a lush.
I am a lush.
No, I think she's talking about the knitting. I definitely think she's talking about the knitting.
No, I'm definitely a lush.
You're certainly enjoying that biscuit.
Sorry.
Are they just a plain thing, or do you get different flavours?
No, not in the gluten-free section, definitely not.
It is nice to have something with a bit of crunch though, isn't it? A little bit of texture.
Do you know what? When I first had to cut everything out of my diet, the weight started to drop off me because I couldn't eat anything. There was nothing about. But even in the last year, the range of stuff that you can get is just exploded, and I'm just going to have to take care that I don't put all the weight back on.
Oh, here we go. Elaine says she's not equipped. She needs to get all the needles.
Well, Elaine, I've got loads of needles.
You've got all needles, great and small.
I have got all needles, great and small. Bamboo and metal.
Are they beautiful? Beautiful bamboo.
Yeah, and I've got the metal ones. Circular. My mum just bought a load actually because my dad sent me a message and said, did I want them?
She'll need it's either 3.25 or 3.75 for the rib and 4mm for that little hat.
In a DK.
In a DK, yeah.
Yeah, my mum's taken up knitting again. I think a lot of people are coming back to the knitting recently.
It's so good for you.
She hasn't knitted for years, and she used to say she couldn't do it because of the arthritis in her fingers. And I kept saying to her that maybe she should give it a go because it might actually ease the arthritis off.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. That's
exactly.
the thing.
And I think the bigger needles as well, so that you're not holding something too small.
Yeah.
But anyway, she started knitting for my niece's baby and my stepdaughter's baby as well. And she's not got narcolepsy, but you know, she's of a certain age where they would just drop off and have a little nana nap.
Yeah.
And she's been making this baby jumper for ages. And my dad said that she's knitted the sleeves about 20 times because she'll nod off in the middle of a row and all the stitches come off the needles and she can't fix it, so she's just, oh damn it, and she just pulls it back out again and starts again.
What a shame. Oh, bless.
She's going to get there eventually.
Yeah, it's just having confidence, isn't it?
It's
getting
another
on with it.
version of
Stop it. Yeah, I mean, I think the thing for me with it is once you get the hang of it, it's very repetitive. And that puts the brain into a really relaxed state. And, you know, you measure something and it's 3 inches and you need 5. And the next time you measure it, it's 11. Because you just... Yeah, another episode of The Witcher, and it's the one where he's in the bath. So and you're knitting faster because he's in the bath.
And if you get excited, you get faster and
faster. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all the fight scenes and all the rest of it, all that rippling leather, lovely.
And then before you know it, you're going to have to rip back again.
Well, yeah, before you know it, you'll be thinking I might as well just carry on and make a loop scarf and just seam it when I'm done. Because, you know, sometimes that's... Life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
Yeah, and as long as you haven't run out of wool, all's good.
Yeah, it is. And the thing is, even if you have to rip something out, that's fine. As part of the design process, we're always ripping stuff out.
When I designed my baby fedora hat, my mum and dad were actually up visiting me. And I started that hat when they first arrived. And by the end of the week, I had just finished this baby hat. Because every single night I knitted it, didn't like it, wasn't quite happy with it, ripped it back out again. Next night, started it again. And one night my dad sat there and he's looking at me and he goes, why do you keep pulling that out? I've seen you knit that many times. And he couldn't get his head around the fact that that's the life of a designer, basically.
It is. It absolutely is. And, you know, people will say to us something. There's a kind of a trend at the moment. Joji Locatelli and some of the other designers have been asked to design with more affordable yarns and more acrylics, because not everybody's got the budget to buy, you know, £25 skeins and get 6 of them for a sweater, when you can get £20 worth of Stylecraft Special or something like that and make yourself a nice jumper that's perfectly fine but within your budget. So she started this hashtag of sort of designing on a budget, and we're sat there going, we've been bloody doing this for years, because very often we'll chat about stuff and I'll show swatches and they're nearly always in Special DK, Special Aran, Stylecraft Bellissima or something like that, because it's affordable and you can rip it out 100 times. And you can re-knit it and knit it and knit it and knit it and knit it, and there are some balls of yarn that I've got that only ever get to be swatches and then they're ripped out and wound again. And then I'll swatch again later with a different stitch pattern to see what it's like, or I'll show stripes in colour combinations or something so that somebody can see what that's like, but never go any further with it. That's all I'm ever going to do with it.
Exactly.
And you know, rather than don't get me wrong, I love Malabrigo Rios. If you look at this behind me, that's Rios in Archangel, and I've showed that on previous episodes, so you know, feel free to go back and watch those. It's a beautiful yarn. It is. But I've only spent that kind of money on a handful of sweaters, and I'm 52 this month. I don't routinely spend that kind of money on me. It takes a lot for me to do that, and it's quite hard, and I need to change that, because I deserve wonderful things, because I'm awesome. But a lot of the time I will make myself sweaters in Stylecraft Special Aran with wool, because it's got enough wool in that it's warm and it's really lovely and it washes well. And one of my go-to sweaters at the moment is Mail-In by Isabel Kramer, and I'm wearing that such a lot at the moment.
Lovely one, that.
Yeah, and it's so comfortable. It's ridiculously comfortable, but it's very, very simple. It was really enjoyable and easy to knit. It's an affordable yarn. It doesn't matter if I shrink it. It won't break my heart. So, you know, don't get hung up on, I have to have amazing yarns, I have to have expensive needles. Utter tripe. You can have the most basic of kit and still produce beautiful, beautiful things.
I find that my expensive skeins of yarn just sit in my stash, because I just don't want to pick them for the wrong project and then have to pull it out. And you know, they're the ones that I tend to knit with the least. The ones that the wool that I knit with the most, like you say, is like the Stylecraft and things that are more affordable.
Yeah, I've got my eye on their, you know, the Bambino, the baby yarn. It's just like Bellissima DK. It's just in baby colours. I think it's exactly the same yarn, but what do I know? But they've done a Prince version, and they've got a mustardy colour and a sort of sea-type bluey greeny colour in the solids, and then the Prince version has got a blue, an off-white sort of beachy sandy colour, and then this mustardy colour running through it. And I'm looking at that and sort of thinking, oh, baby knits. Or a jumper for me.
I'll tell you some of my favourite baby yarn. There's two actually. One is paint box. Have you used any of the paint box?
I haven't used any of the paint box yarns. What are they like?
They are really, really nice. They're slightly more expensive acrylic, because they are acrylic, but they are lovely. They come with all the colours of the rainbow. You could get any colour that you want. I absolutely love those. And then the other one that I really like, which is again a little bit more expensive, but it's got wool in it, is the West Yorkshire Spinners baby.
Oh right, yeah.
Is it Bo Peep?
Oh, could be. Yeah. Someone will put us right if we're not on track.
That was really nice. I used a ball of that. One ball was perfect to make a hat with, one of my berets.
I've done quite a few baby things with Lion Brand Vanna's Choice.
Oh yeah, that's.
Which is a good acrylic. That's actually really great for crochet, because Vanna White is a big crochet fan, absolute queen of crochet stuff, and she's chosen most of the colours for that yarn. So yeah, that's a really nice one for baby stuff, because it's soft and quite thick, so everything grows very quickly when you're knitting it. It's been super instant gratification. And cottons are always good, aren't they, for babies?
Yeah, like I've just bought that cotton this week to do those burp cloths with when I eventually get around to it. Even though Mary dear keeps giving me round to it.
Yeah.
I've never actually managed to keep hold of one yet.
I've got around to it, but I couldn't tell you where it was. Mary dear, if you're watching, maybe you could send me around to it, because I can't find mine.
They're rare. I'm sure they only go in there. They live in Australia.
Shall I take off one of my sockies? Because speaking of Mary dear, she made me these sockies.
Oh, those are the ones that she sent you?
Yeah, I have to excuse how sloppy they look, because I've had them on all day and superwash clothes. Where's the cables on the side? Can you see those pretty cables on the side and the rib? And there's that beautiful lace pattern on the front, and they're just my favourite socks ever.
Those are gorgeous. I wonder you were excited when they came.
Oh, it was completely out of the blue. She didn't tell me she was doing it. This parcel just arrived from America, and I'm thinking, wow, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Gorgeous socks.
When something comes and you think, I don't remember ordering anything.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking I haven't ordered anything. What's going on here? So yeah, it was just the most amazing surprise that somebody would spend that much time on me. That was really quite humbling.
Yeah, because socks aren't the quickest. I mean,
no, they're not. No.
I think I can roughly 6 days to make a pair of socks for me, and that is with just sitting and knitting socks all day long.
I might manage that in a fortnight.
Yeah.
Small circumference in the round, circular needles, DPNs, not happening.
I don't use DPNs. I never use DPNs.
I will if it's bamboo.
Right. The old bamboo.
You'll be telling us, get out of your pub.
No, I just wanna channel my inner Dick Van Dyke now. Yep.
I wonder where you were going with that.
Do you not remember Mary Poppins?
I do, because it's in that 11 lift thing where he's trying to do an English accent, and he says, "What part of England are you from?" The same part as Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle says the socks are beautiful. Thank you. I will let Mary know. They're available on Ravelry. Mary E. Rose. It's one of her patterns. And I think you can also get them on notions.com. KNOTIONS, Notions.
She works quite a bit with Notions magazine.
She does. Jodie there is absolutely amazing. I've done a couple of book reviews and things for Jodie, and she's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. She's a pleasure to deal with. And they're so professional.
Brilliant. Unlike some people who shall remain nameless.
What, me?
No, not you. I'm thinking more along the lines of like magazines, publishers.
Oh right, okay. Well, we'll perhaps leave that one. But
yeah, we'll just leave that one.
Yeah, not all publishers are alike, but Notions are one of the fabulous ones. And you've had really good experiences with Knitpicks, haven't you?
Knitpicks are brilliant, yeah.
Yeah.
And Interweave as well.
All right.
I had one of my boot cuffs, which was just a pattern that I did when I was playing around one day. I had an email out of the blue from Interweave saying they were putting a collection together of Highland knits to sort of like be inspired by...
for Outlander?
Yeah. And that they would like to include my boot cuffs, and I was like, yeah, that's great. So I sent the sample, they photographed them, sent them back, paid me £100 and didn't even want any kind of exclusivity because they were already published.
Right.
And sent me a free pattern book. So I was quite happy with that.
That's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we need to do some Outlander inspired knits. I'm sure Jamie could get my creative juices flowing.
Well.
Oh, Jake says, you like this, Rosie is going to drop off some Lucozade. I feel so much better for the food you made and drinking more potion. I've forced it down, but seriously, I was struggling to get out of bed today. Soz, Jake.
Oh, that's his way of saying he loves his mum.
Yeah, well, never mind. I sorted him out with his potion. Like, usually it just does the trick. It makes you feel a bit more human again.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, it's not fun. I know how he's feeling because I felt like I'd been hit by a truck yesterday.
Yeah.
Everything ached. Just.
Have you been taking the paracetamol?
I have had paracetamol. I've dialed down on the antihistamine.
As per medical advice.
Yeah, because it's just sensible, isn't it? Give your immune system a chance. That's why I'm a bit scratchy on the old voice. So, no singing today. I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
Cutting.
Sorry about that. Next time.
I was going to ask for a rendition of Come On Eileen.
It's not really my song. I only do a handful of songs and not particularly well. If I've had enough to drink, I will do Waltzing Matilda. You know the Pogues.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I want Karma Chameleon.
I'll probably end up looking like Boy George if I did that one. Now there's a picture.
I would walk 500 miles.
I could do the accent. Definitely do the accent.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, maybe do Sunshine on Leith. No, generally if I'm going to sing, if it's family parties or anything like that, my grandmother's favourite was always, I love a lot of country music, which you probably didn't know, but John Denver, for me,
I like John Denver.
Annie's song.
Love Annie's song. Oh, I was absolutely gutted to hear about Kenny Rogers today.
Yeah, that is sad, isn't it? No more islands in the stream.
I love Islands in the Stream.
And Lucille will just take her love to town now.
Oh. Sad.
Yeah, it was a good age though. No.
Yeah, 81, not bad.
It's not a bad innings. It's better than a lot of people get. And someone said that he'd always joked he'd never worked a day in his life because he loved singing and it was his passion.
No, bless him. At least he didn't have to watch the world going crazy.
Well, no, I suppose that's a blessing in many ways. But yeah, I love John Denver, and Don Williams is a big favourite of mine as well.
Do I know him?
Don Williams? Don Williams songs. I'm going to have to Google a list now.
I don't know if I know him.
Don Williams. Songs, I Believe in You, Tulsa Time.
I Believe in You.
Love Me Tonight. No, not that one.
Oh.
I think that's Gentleman Jim.
Oh.
Jim Reeves, who was another of my grand's absolute favourites. You're My Best Friend. I Recall a Gypsy Woman. No, don't make me sing it.
Tumbleweed.
Oh, here we go. I recall a gypsy woman, silver spangles in her hair. Do you not remember that from the 70s? Or were you too young?
I was born in 76.
Oh, right. Well, probably was still quite popular. Vicky says, what's Em doing now? She needs to learn how to make socks. But honestly, they're super easy, and knitting in the round is great once you get going. Awesome. Yeah. Apologies for the singing, by the way.
They are addictive, aren't they? Not knitting socks. Once you start, there are some people who just knit socks, and they're super comfortable as well.
They are, yeah. You're back onto music for a second. I quite like Glenn Campbell.
What does Glenn Campbell sing? I know the name.
Oh, lots of songs. By the Time I Get to Phoenix. You heard that one? No, is that Tumbleweed?
Yeah, definitely Tumbleweed going on.
Hang on, Glenn Campbell.
These country and western people?
Yeah.
Because I think about the only country people I know a couple of John Denver.
Dolly Parton, obviously.
Dolly Parton. Jolene. I love Jolene.
Rhinestone Cowboy, Wichita Lineman, Gentle on My Mind.
No, Rhinestone Cowboy.
Well, that's Glenn Campbell.
Cowboy.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
Wichita Lineman, Gentle on My Mind.
No.
Oh, I'd love anything like that.
I don't know these songs.
I like kind of easy listening, but I'm quite eclectic because I love jazz and swing and all stuff like that. But what's everybody else's music preferences? We're probably driving you bananas with our singing.
two things for me. Anybody who knows me will know my two music preferences.
Queen,
yeah. And the other one is a certain Broadway show about a certain first American Treasury secretary.
Is it Hamilton?
That would be the one, yeah. Alexander Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Hamilton, because you got to do it northern, you can't do it like southern softy proper H's.
Hamilton, Callum. Not Hamilton. No, Loraine says that northerners say it like Hamilton. Callum speaks with a northern accent. Come here.
Have you brought him up all posh not to drop his H's?
Say I'm going in the bath.
I'm going in the bath.
See, bath. Did you hear that?
Bath. Yeah, that's proper talk. That's how you meant to say it.
Say those pictures are on the wall. Those pictures are on the wall.
Those pictures on the wall.
See?
Exactly. There's no R in bath. It's not bath. It's bath.
I'm walking on the path.
There's no R in path.
Yeah, there is. Path.
And it's not Roy Castle. It's Roy Castle. No, that's just wrong. It's gone.
Get out of my pub.
What do you like?
Oh, lovely.
Oh, here we go. Elaine says favourite song at the moment is Adore You by Harry Styles. He does have a lovely voice.
Did you see that picture of him recently where he's sitting in a chair? I don't know what he's wearing on his top half, but on the bottom half he had fishnet stockings and stilettos.
Well, you know, isolation's going to do this to a lot of people.
Oh, he was channeling his inner Frankenfurter, I think.
Oh, okay.
I used to love the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that was brilliant. Absolute genius.
Caitlin's tutor at school is called Janet. So
Damn it, Janet.
Every time she talks about this Janet, she goes, oh yeah, and we were da-da-da, and Janet said, and I go, damn it, Janet. And she's like, shut up.
Well, you know when you do the time warp,
Yeah.
I might have issues with left and the other left.
Oh, right, yeah. Right.
So when everyone does a jump to the left and a step to the right, I might be going in the opposite direction. And I never get it. I can't. It doesn't matter how much I practice. I get it wrong every time.
Oh, do you have the same issue in the car?
Not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Because we're always like left, 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 right, right, right. You know, like the police do when you're driving. Yeah.
Yeah. I will be at a junction. I'll say to Jake, check the left.
Yeah.
And then he looks left, and then he's looking right, and I'm going, check left.
Not right.
Well, I've looked left. Well, just keep bloody looking left because I'm looking right, and I need you to keep looking that way. They're left.
You say car.
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 It's a car.
No, it's a car.
Scone.
You'd be saying the stone of Scone next.
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
Okay, well, let's do some Scottish now. Round and round the radical road, the radical rascal ran. Can you roll your R's?
No. The only word I can say in a Scottish accent is
Mudder.
mudder. It's been a mudder.
Oh, Mark McManus, bless him. My parents always tease me about My Fair Lady.
Oh.
And I love My Fair Lady. And of course there's a very young Jeremy Brett who later on was just one of the best Sherlock Holmes ever.
Right.
But he plays, is it Jeremy Ainsford Hill or Ainsford Hill in it? And he sings my favourite song in the whole wide world, which is On the Street Where You Live. And you see him dancing up and down the street and singing and all the rest of it. And I'm about 12 or something, so 10 or 15 years ago. And I sort of blithely comment to my mother about what a lovely singing voice Jeremy Brett had when he was younger. And my mum's on the floor howling, going, that's not him singing, you fool, they've overdubbed it. So every time it's on now, I either get a text or a phone call of My Fair Lady's on. He's got such a lovely singing voice.
But only when he was younger, because when he was older...
Yeah, because when he was older he'd lost it.
Yeah.
I can't remember who the singer was in the film, but the one who had the biggest hits with it was Vic Damone, who just had an amazing voice.
I's a good girl, I is. Honest.
Yeah. Aye. That's about as elegant as I get.
I'm a good girl, I is.
I can do Hertford, Hereford and Hampshire.
But I come from Hampshire and I don't sound like that.
Oh well. Elaine says Jeremy Brett's her absolute favourite Sherlock.
I don't think I've seen him as Sherlock.
Oh, he's fabulous.
When was this Sherlock?
Was it in the 90s, Elaine? 80s, 90s, something like that. His wife died. Jeremy Brett's wife. I think she died of cancer, and he wasn't the same man after that. And I think in the end he just died of a broken heart. He just gave up.
Oh, bless him.
It was really obvious, the decline in his health.
Right.
Which was quite sad, really, because he was a brilliant actor.
I'm still a Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed. Oh yeah, Elaine's saying 80s or 90s. They're very often on drama on Sky, and I think they're probably on BritBox as well.
Right.
I really enjoyed the Robert Downey Jr. films, and I am not a fan of Jude Law at all, but I do quite like him as Watson in those. I love Robert Downey Jr. though, so...
I love Robert Downey Jr. Really, really love him. Always have done. What was that movie he was in years ago? It's like a romantic comedy.
Wait, are you thinking of the one where, with Sybil Shepherd?
No, don't know it. Can't remember.
He's in one where he survives, does he? A fella gets killed and wants to be reincarnated and comes back into Robert Downey Jr. as a baby.
Oh.
And they don't have time to wipe his soul's memory before he leaps into this baby's body.
Right.
For this new life. And he spends his entire life trying to track down his wife, which is Sybil Shepherd.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
And then ends up... he eventually realises that it's the wrong thing, because the Downey Jr. character has fallen in love with Sybil's daughter in the movie, and that's quite a clever one. But there's another one he did, and I can't remember what it's called, where he's a baby who survives a bus crash where nearly everybody else is killed. And all of the people on the bus come back as ghosts and look after him. He's obviously got parents. I don't know whether he's adopted or whatever, but these ghosts are there with him all the time, and his parents think that he's got a really overactive imagination, and it's not. It's because the bus driver and all the passengers are there looking after him and playing with him, and that takes you through into his adult life, and that's really funny. That's very clever.
Sounds interesting. I don't know that one.
And I quite like him in is it The Fugitive, or is it the follow-up to The Fugitive with Tommy Lee Jones?
The only Fugitive I know is the one with Harrison Ford.
Well, Tommy Lee Jones is the officer that's going after him. I think it's the one after that Downey Jr. might be in.
Right, okay.
Where are they chasing? It's not Denzel.
As in Washington?
Yeah, it's not Denzel. It's well, I can't think of the other guy's name. It'll come to me. I'll ring you at 3 in the morning and let you know.
Yeah, it's fine. Just send me a text.
Alright, Downey Jr.'s on now, Avengers Assemble. I've got that on record. I watched that yesterday, actually.
I like the Avengers movies, actually.
Return of Sherlock Holmes, first episode. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, Elaine's saying that's a brilliant film. Chances Are is the film, Michelle says. Yeah, I'd forgotten the name of that. How brilliant that you know. But he's done a lot of movies over the years, Downey Jr.
Hive Mind at work again.
You what, sorry?
I said the Hive Mind is at work again.
I know, it's excellent because you can just ask any question and throw it in here. And just
Talk to me.
Somebody knows.
Talk about all sorts of stuff and somebody will tell you what you're actually talking about.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know yourself.
Oh, I just found a little bit of yarn. See, it was left over from a ball of yarn where it's a rainbow yarn.
Right.
And I wanted to start with a particular colour, so I wound off the beginning of the yarn and it gets stuffed onto the arm of the chair next to where I sit.
Right, okay.
And then the next time I wind something off because it's the wrong colour for where I want to be, that'll get put in the same place, and then all of those at a later date will be thrown in a bag.
Yeah.
And then I'll randomly pull them out and do crochet rows or strand them together to do a coaster or a mat or something like that.
Sounds perfect.
Or use them to stuff a little gnome, as my mum likes to call them. Yeah. Keep saying it's a silent G and she just looks at me over her glasses and does that. Yeah.
I've definitely got bottom issues now, you know.
Well, we're nearly at 8 o'clock. You haven't got long to go now. You haven't got long to go.
You've got hashtag sleevegate and I've got hashtag bottom issues. This isn't fair. I think mine's worse.
I think your hashtag is worse. You have to keep referring to it in a much more positive light. A hashtag numbum.
Numbum. Yeah, but then people know what you're talking about. I think bottom issues is funnier because it could be anything. Especially if I've been stockpiling toilet roll.
Yeah, hashtag numbum. There you are.
Oh no.
Hearts and Soul is the ghost one. Not that she really likes Robert Downey Jr. No, not at all, Michelle. Not that you're a big fan. With you on that one. He's just so ridiculously charming, though, isn't he?
He is. He's gorgeous. I don't know who was in it. And
I bet he's really naughty and cheeky and just
he is.
Ridiculous fun.
But I've got like a memory of a movie, and I think it was a war movie, and this plane has crashed, and all the people are dead, like the soldiers or the airmen or the whatever they are, the RAF, and they're all dead, but they're ghosts by the plane. And I can't remember what the movie was. Am I just making that up?
I don't know.
I'll have to investigate. I'll let everybody know next time.
Well, I'm not going to sleep now. Just
I'm sorry.
because I don't know. Oh, speaking of not going to sleep, I moved something near the dishwasher earlier, and the dishwasher was running at the time. And a plastic cup that was above the dishwasher drying. You know when they come out and sometimes they've got droplets, and I've put them there to put away later. And it fell onto the floor, so I'm thinking, and then a Mahusif for us, sort of that big spider, ran across the floor and under the fridge. So that half of the kitchen now it's dead to me.
Well, you'll have to. Does Jake get with the spiders for you?
Oh my God, no! Jake's a bigger wuss than I am.
So what happens with spiders in your house then?
Well, generally we scream and point, but usually I negotiate with them. I have a lengthy conversation that side of the room over there, not near the bed, is yours, and I will not disturb your nests and stuff over there.
Don't even think about that.
But this end, forget it.
Yeah. If you encroach, you'll end up dead. But if you stay over there, I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, we used to call them Borises. I don't know why we call them Borises, but they always got the name Boris. I don't know, maybe they look Russian or something.
Not to be confused with Bojo.
No. No, I don't think he could move that quickly. I mean, but bless him, he looks exhausted at the moment. He looks like he hasn't slept for a fortnight.
Anne and I were having this conversation this morning, and, you know, no matter how you like him or don't like him, he's just got an awful situation to deal with, and he's probably beside himself with worry about his own girlfriend. You know, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody, and he's either going to be remembered as a Neville Chamberlain or as a Winston Churchill after this.
Yeah, I'm not sure which way that's going to go, but never mind. We can't influence it here. We can just knit and chat and sew and whatnot.
It by not going out.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah, exactly that. Not going out.
Let's just not go out. Let's stay here, knit, talk.
In our pyjamas.
In our pyjamas.
But with a bra.
Yeah, I've got a bra on.
You take them off later.
When you've gone, I'll take my bra off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to run tomorrow, so, you know.
Sports bra though, that's the sort of lash 'em down ones, isn't it?
That is a you cannot breathe bra.
Really?
Yeah, because otherwise they do sort of like the black eyes.
Yeah.
You don't want a bra that gives you a black eye, really. Well, it's not the bra.
Well, and it's when they bounce in different directions. You kind of don't know what to do with them for the best, do you? You can't run along with your hands on them.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an attractive look, really.
Well, and if you fall, how do you get your hands down to protect yourself?
You just can't, it's not happening.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Right, well, we're just after 8 o'clock.
Way past my bedtime.
It is way past your bedtime, so time for you to go snoozy bobos.
Pumpkins.
I'm going to have some more potion and a Rington's hot chocolate, which is my nighttime treat.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to sit up for another hour and do a bit more knitting on my cowl. This is where I've got to say.
Coming on so nice, and those colours look lovely together.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with them. They do seem to complement. Oh, look at that. That texture's working really well. You can really see it pop in the lighter colour, can't you?
I'm really pleased with the yarn I chose, although I do wish that the stripes were slightly smaller, to be fair.
I suppose once you know that, if you did something similar again, you can always just stop it after a certain number of rows, can't you? And wind off a bit and stick it on the arm of the chair.
Yeah. Fine.
Tip number 1, into a carrier bag of all other wound offy bits.
Later.
Not that I am anal about the colours that I start with or anything else at all.
Never heard that about you at all.
No. I am not the person who spent £30 on Norro to make the 98-yard shawl because it kept having lurid neon green bits in it and funny knotted bits of other colours that shouldn't have been in the colourway.
Okay.
5 balls of yarn I had to pay for to get 98 yards shawl.
Now that's a vicious rumour. That's not true.
It wasn't a 98-yard shawl, that's for sure. It was beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
So you sound a bit like, who was it did the song? You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
They
He
are.
actually admitted that that song's a little bit creepy, actually, because it's a bit stalkerish.
Oh, okay. Oh, I still quite like his music then.
I like it. Did you see his new one that he wrote about his dad?
No.
It was on GMB and he was talking about it, and his dad had, I want to say something wrong with his kidneys,
Right.
but I'm not sure if that's right, but he was waiting for a transplant anyway, and they didn't think that he was actually going to get a donor, and he wrote this song for him about, you know, possibly losing his dad.
Right.
and he had his dad in the video and everything, and he was crying and stuff, and his dad's the proper pajama kind of guy, like, that were you, what you doing, crying, stiff upper lips, son, you know. And then after he'd released it and everything, he got the cowl and he got his transplant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah, I'm sure it was his kidney. But I could be wrong. I'm usually wrong.
I must admit, I'm really loving Lewis Capaldi.
I love Lewis Capaldi.
Yeah.
I do love Lewis Capaldi.
I was kind of getting used to being someone you love.
Oh, is he not saying it anymore?
Well, you know.
Has he gone off you?
I don't know. He's just so unreliable and in demand, and you know.
Yeah.
Now he's at home in his pyjamas, he might write some more lovely songs about me.
I might do. I wonder if he's having an adult beverage.
I think it's fairly safe to assume he's got a beer.
Right.
He seems a very down-to-earth young man.
He's lovely. Is he the nephew of Peter?
I think they're related.
Yeah,
But then Scotland's not a big country. Well, it's a big country maybe in terms of space compared to the rest of the UK, but it's not a big population, is it? So chances are, even if it's generations back, they might be related.
Yeah. Unlike the local town around here where there's a lot of inbreeding going on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, sorry.
Allegedly. We've heard that, but it's, you know, it's not true.
There's been all sorts of rumours flying around tonight, aren't there?
Oh goodness, yeah. Yeah, nobody's commented on #numbum, so you know.
It's because, you know, they haven't got bottom issues, so they can't relate.
Well, you know, maybe it's the gin and tonics that
Yeah.
inoculate you from bottom issues,
Yeah.
or perhaps make it that you don't care.
I think I need a gin and tonic next time then, will I?
You maybe try that. I'm going to go for Prosecco. Are we going live tomorrow?
Yeah, should we do a little quick Mother's Day catch up?
Yeah? What sort of time of day do you think we should do that? And I'll schedule it. I'll put it in.
I'm going running in the morning.
Yeah.
And I should be home and finished with cups of tea and everything 10:30, so any time after that, I suppose, whatever fits in with you.
Yeah, sort of.
You got busy.
What time do you have lunch on a Sunday?
Probably about 1ish.
Or we can either do it before that or after that, whatever's easiest.
Whatever suits you, I don't mind.
I'm not doing anything because chances are I won't be going anywhere.
No, you won't be. I have my my Mother's Day present.
Oh yeah, you've got to do the grand unboxing, haven't you?
So can I do that live tomorrow?
Would everybody like to see that? It's a yarny box of marvellous things.
It would be nice, you know.
That would be awesome.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to opening that. And then I've got to ring my mum and I've got to ring my mother-in-law. But other than that.
Okay, well check in with me when you get back, and then I'll put a quick notice on so that people have got a heads up. I'm sure we're all going to be busy phoning or Skyping or Zooming our mums tomorrow, or FaceTiming or WhatsApping, or going, no mum, press that.
Yeah.
Yes, press that mum. No, that.
Can you hear me? Mum, can you hear me? Mum! Hello? Mum!
Mum, you've got the phone upside down.
Or as Callum would do. Oh God, mother.
Yeah, Jake just goes, how have you got to this age and not died?
That's pleasant.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers for that, son. Love you too.
Yeah, your confidence in my abilities is just amazing.
Yeah.
There we are. Right, well, we're going to call it a night, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching, or if you're tuning in on the #replay.
Yeah.
If you're popping in later, do let us know what beverage you had while you were catching up with us. Tell us what you're knitting, crocheting, cross-stitching, weaving, reg rugging, or, you know, tatting, whatever your thing is.
Yeah.
let us know. And there's some threads in the group now about where you can post. If you're watching this later on YouTube, there's a big fat red subscribe button down there. Click that and you'll obviously get our list of videos as they're published, and there's a little bell next to it. Ding that and you'll get a notification whenever we've posted a new video, and that'll come to the top of your list. And on Facebook, if you're in our group Knitting Across the Pennines watching, you go to the group home page and there's somewhere on the right underneath the banner at the top, there's kind of 3 little buttons. If you click that, it allows you to choose notifications, and if you put all notifications, then it'll tell you whenever we go live, and that'll also come sort of first in your feed to let you keep up with what's going on. Anything else, Emma? Have I missed anything?
No, I think you've got everything there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Definitely on now.
Yeah. Bin your tissues. Wash your hands. Drink lots of water and stay safe. And we love you all.
And it's been a blast.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
No.
I'm going to look now for the big fat end live video button. Bye bye.
Bye button. Bye.
Bye. Okay, OBS, stop recording. Stop streaming, stop recording, stop some.